Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Foodie with Trudy. I'm your host Trudy. I'm back. It's been a while. Thank you guys for continuing to listen. Thank you for running it. But I had to take a vacation, but I'm back. Happy days for Man U. Happy days for most of the top six as City continues to plummet. But first, I want to talk about the promo we're having, the giveaway we're having. God is gonna help me through this because it's kind of a long spiel. We're having a $100 PlayStation Store giveaway. Very simple to win it if you want to win it. The match day that is coming up this weekend, that is the weekend of the 21st of December. The fixtures that are in this match day, guess the scores, guess the results, and the person who has the most correct guesses wins. Very simple. DM your guesses to our Instagram page, Foodie with Trudy, on Instagram. I'll review it, and the winner will be contacted via that method as well. You have to be a subscriber on YouTube to play. The rules are quite complicated, but I'll try to get through them as well. If you guess the exact scoreline, you get 3 points for each guess. If you get the result, you get 1 point. If you guess the goal difference, you get 2 points. Don't worry, the complications of how you mark that is up to me. I'm going to be the one marking it, but send in your guesses, like I said, on the Instagram page. I'll review it and you'll be contacted and shout out on next week's episode. Beautiful. That was smooth as silk. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the top six. Basically, we're almost halfway through the season. We're going to talk about the top six to see where they currently are, where they go from here, whether our predictions were right or wrong, and basically what's going on with them in the Premier League, in Europe, or if they're not even in any of them at all. Let's start with, should we start from the biggest team, the smallest team, or start by position? What do you guys think, Kachi?
I mean, let's start by the lowest team on the table in the traditional basis.
So Arsenal, let's start with Arsenal. All right, let's start with Manchester United. Fresh off a fresh kill of Manchester City. I'll start with Skip. What do you think Amorim is going to do by the end of the season? Do you think we can actually sneak in a European title? Maybe.
Oh, no chance of that.
Of Euros?
No chance of it.
Oh my gosh.
If the best you guys can do is Conference League that Chelsea is in right now, if you consider that Euro, that's the best. But I still think that's impossible because that's sixth. Yeah, I don't think you guys are coming sixth.
No, I mean winning the Euros this year. We're in the Euros.
Oh,
Europa. Sorry, Europa.
Okay, you guys are not winning the Europa this year because I saw you are not winning that. I believe your coach is a good coach. I really, really liked him. I wanted him at Chelsea before Poch and before Lampard. I remember clearly. He's a good coach, but like I said, right, he doesn't have the necessary tools to actually do what he wants to do. Because I saw your game on Thursday and I wasn't impressed. Even against City, basically nothing happened. And I'm just like, City lost concentration, which day to they're bad. They've been bad. They lost concentration and things just happen. Boom, that's just the whole game. You can just watch 2 minutes of a game and just exactly like, so you can't really decide on anything on there. So good coach, he has vision, he has good ideas of where he's going. But this summer, you guys need to sell like 10 players. Like, you guys basically need to do what Chelsea did 2-3 years. Like, take 10, 15 players, sell them, start buying new ones. How you guys want to do it, I don't know. But yeah, but I don't see anything this season just because you guys are 13. You guys are close to West Ham, closer to West Ham that having a horrible season. Like that, like, how many points away from West Ham are you guys? Like, that actually should say a lot. So yeah.
Kachi, do you concur or disagree?
I think winning the Europa League is going to be very, very hard, partly because I think there's so many better teams than Man U. I think if we can get any, I think top four will be absolutely amazing. I don't see us making top four, top six possibly, even top five. But I think Man U needs to put together a bunch of run. I mean, I wouldn't mind an FA Cup, or I can never ever turn down winning a cup. So be it an FA Cup, Carabao Cup. But I think winning Europa League will probably be even harder than finishing in the top six because the teams in the Europa League, I kid you not, these are not easy teams to beat, especially when you get further into the competitions, especially the teams like Lazio and all those other guys that have gone on undefeated, right? Not Man U's fake undefeated in Europa League. We're undefeated in Europa League, but we have like 4 draws. So not that kind of...
We have 3 draws, 3 wins, 0 L's. It's like Arsenal's invincibles.
So, but I think for us, for me, a great season will be if we can make fifth or sixth, and then maybe nick a cup here or there. But that would be a good result. But I agree with Skip. Like, we need to sell a bunch of players, and some players' contracts are coming up. And for me, some players' contracts need to be cancelled ASAP. I.e., Rashford, void and cancel that contract right away, bro. We're not doing that whole. We're not being loyal to an academic kid that does not want to turn up for his club.
The more I look at this table, aside from Lazio and maybe Galatasaray, I don't really see any team that I definitely would be afraid of. Anderlecht is on top of what? Athletic Club, Lyon, Frankfurt, Rangers.
It's not about fear. It's that the teams in the Europa League, the way they are playing the Europa League, they are playing the European League like it's their Champions League. I don't know how to explain it. For a lot of those teams in their own local league, they know they're not going to win their own leagues. So they're going to play this Europa League like they are ready to die on that field. Some of their players, if they're looking for new contracts, this is their chance to shine. So, you know, if they face Man U in the knockout rounds, these guys are going to, like, they'll probably rest themselves for 2 weeks, play rubbish in their local leagues, and then come to Europe and play their heart out. So you're not in the same competition as those guys. Some people, they are playing for, some people, they are on like maybe 10 grand a week, and you are bringing Rashford on 350 grand a week. Who is more hungrier? The guy on 10 grand a week is ready to kill Rashford on that field. But you get what I mean? It's a measure of who wants it more. And believe you me, once as the season gets on and on, like, for me, winning Europa League will be very, very. I don't see us winning Europa League.
Quick question: are teams not getting demoted from Champions League again?
No, there's no demotion.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's no demotion, but even without the demotion, the teams in the Europa League are very, very hard teams. They may not be the fanciful teams that we've known of old, but you have a lot of players and a lot of veterans there that are like, they are hungry for success, or they are hungry for a big payday. So.
And also, what does success look for Manchester United so far based on what you've seen for the rest of the season?
Not getting relegated. You asked me, I'm giving you an honest answer. I think a high, finishing on page 1 of the list probably is success, I guess. Like, because, like Skip said, that man you gave. Like, see, anything that makes Pep lose more hair, I'm down. but the actual performance was, you know, when something is so boring, like you're scared of slipping just in case something happens, and then you want to see it yourself. You don't want someone to tell you what that's how I didn't sleep the entire month. Because just like something has to happen at some point. So I just want to be awake so I can see it. Like, you know, like thankfully it was against City that all these things happen, so I'm down. But like, yeah, I know people are like putting all sort of, oh, you had the exact same number of shots on target and other things. Like, and I'm not moved by Amorim so far. Like, maybe I like a certain type of coach. That's probably what it is. The formation historically hasn't really worked in Premier League. Like, the players, like this whole ship all these players out, I don't even know that it's possible, because the reason why Chelsea were able to do it is they signed everybody first. And then we're like, okay, we don't need you anymore. Players had to choose, do I want my money or do I want a career? But like United are having to literally not do Christmas parties and fire 80-year-old two ladies that die a week later and not give bonuses to their players just to be able to succeed. Succeed at what exactly? So yeah, I don't see how you sign Amorim's players without like causing a lot of trouble for the team. But like, yeah, personally, I don't care about United. As long as you guys continue collecting points from City and Liverpool, we are at peace at that point. You know, all the best to you guys.
I honestly think what's the point of getting rid of Ten Hag if we end up still 11th or 12th? What was the point?
Okay. The thing is that, like, I'm looking at United, I have a feeling you guys will draw more games than win. Because that's how you're.
But that was Ten Hag too, though.
Again.
That was like the funniest thing about
the way
Ten Hag.
United is set up, the way United are being set up is don't lose games. If you're playing against like the way Amorim since he came in, is always structure. We have the structure, we have the framework and everything. Don't let them don't lose games, don't go behind. It's only when they are losing, that's when it's like, okay, guys, let's throw everything at the sink. So in that type of games, teams that do too, they don't mind, okay, let's share the points, we're okay with that too. Trust me, that will happen more than That will happen a lot more than actually winning game. Because I look at your team, immediately Ahmad get marked out of a game. What do you do? Who is
But I
good?
don't. So the thing is that I don't even think it's about Ahmad. Like Ahmad is good enough that to me it's good enough that marking out isn't something that's going to happen that often. It's just kind of like if you actually decide to go at United, what are they going to do? Even with this whole structure, like any attempt, as it's as simple as they consider the corner again, and it's going to happen next week and it's going to happen the week again. Like so, like it just feels a little bit too.
But
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
don't know.
like I said, that corner problem predates Amorim. It predates Ten Hag.
Yeah, but it's a simple fix, though.
Is it though? If it's a simple fix, how come it's been the same problem for like 8 years?
No,
It's the
a
same thing
simple
as how
thing.
come
Just
Arsenal
hire-
could not
just
defend
hire
set
a
pieces for.
set-piece coach. Hire a set-piece
Like
coach.
he didn't make any. He didn't make.
Almost every EPL team now have a set piece coach, because that's how dangerous. Get a set piece. Most of these coaches don't really know anything about set piece. Get a set piece coach. Poch, one of the reasons like he actually got sacked is because when they hire someone from Brentford, if I'm right, they hired this guy we have now from Brentford. What the Poch didn't want a set piece coach, and the club was like, "No, you are getting a set piece coach. This is getting embarrassing." They forced it on him. We had a set piece coach, like, and now again, we're not Arsenal in corner kicks, but like we're decent enough where we're basically not paying on ourselves every time someone has a corner against us. Just get a set piece coach.
Because you have all the tools you need to be decent from set pieces. Like Maguire on his own, like
Bro,
stops
I
90% of set
I
pieces.
think it's only under when Ronaldo was around. That's the only time we were dangerous from set pieces. Like, bro, we had Maguire, we had Pogba, we had McTominay, even Cavani. We had all these giants still. Like, we would concede in corners and we wouldn't score in corners. I'm like, well, what is happening? We have to move on to another team. Who's next on this thing? Is Spurs considered top 6 or not?
They're part of the traditional top.
Top 6. So what's the future with Spurs? Same question for with Man U. What's success for them towards the end of the season? And do you think they can win any cups at all? They're in Europa with us. Edosa. I started with Kachi before, and boy is gone.
And my father had never seen Tottenham really win anything of note, so I doubt I'll be seeing it in my lifetime also. So, so yeah, I don't want to think about them winning anything because of the possibilities that could end up leading to.
But Ange always wins something in the second season, though.
He hasn't coached Tottenham for 2 seasons yet, so
But this is his second season.
that's my point.
Yeah.
Like he's about to experience the end of the second season thing. So they're a good team, but like all their players are like fair weather players. Like when they meet a team that's rubbish, that's when you see them actually bust that paying. But like look at Madison today.
No, but it's the opposite, though. What is the opposite? Normally they play hard against the big teams. Then the small teams, they're like, this one's crayfish. Then they lose. Ipswich beat them.
Yeah, but like Ipswich are not bad per se. Like they're not a good team. Like they're not great, but they're not horrible to me anyway. So I just think that like the sun has to be set exactly right. The wind has to be exactly right. You know, the players must have worn their shoes on like the first time. It didn't get stuck on the way through their foot. Their socks is at the right place. Their shirt is properly tucked in. Hurricane did not call them that morning, that kind of thing. That's all that needs to happen for them to win a game. And I just think that like if that's who you are, it's kind of like Brighton, you know. You see them winning a lot of games, only for us to find out today that in 180 games they've won 60, lost 60, drawn 60. That's just who they are. Like you only keep in your head the fact that they do really nice things against certain teams. But those teams that they play, they're always kind of in a funk when they are beating them, these so-called big teams that they're playing. But when they meet these teams, when it's like actually they're in a good form, they don't do anything. And that's just Tottenham. They never do anything of note. So yeah.
I feel like, God, if I want to bring up something now, we're going to a different topic entirely. But that I feel like we should have a topic for the pressure Man U players get while in Man U, because it's a different kind of pressure, I feel. Because that's the same way when they leave, you don't really hear anything about them until they're doing well. You'd see the 1 or 2 games they did well, like, oh my God, I can't believe we let this guy go. Then you sit back and think, It's been over 4 months since we let this guy go, but I'm only hearing his name 3 times. There's a reason.
But it happens though. Like it's like the way, like not to make it about Arsenal, but think about how everybody like, oh, Arsenal only score set piece goals. When in reality, the only games people actually watch Arsenal play is when we're playing hard teams, and against hard teams, they have the capability to stop our attackers. So you use something else to win those games. Meanwhile, everybody else that we play, where we're slapping them with 5 different goal scorers, all from open play, people like other teams don't do that, and nobody says, "Oh, what a wonderful attacking display!" Like you get, everybody just focuses on the matches that they watch. So Tottenham, nobody watches them except they're playing Man U or City or Arsenal or Chelsea, and then I can't remember ever watching any other game about from Tottenham. So like maybe Liverpool, I guess. Like nobody's gonna watch us, guys. Yeah,
Nah, this weekend Liverpool Tottenham. I watch that. I'll catch
we'll
you.
be there.
For Spurs, I honestly think it's getting to the point that they may actually fire Big Ange. I honestly think like if they had lost to Southampton today, the pressure was building. Because first of all, these people are the most inconsistent team I've ever seen. I think after beating Man City, they went on like a 3 or 4 game losing streak, or where they did not even pick up a single point in a game against teams that they should be beating. And I don't understand this whole rotation thing that Big Ange keeps doing, where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna not start with Maddison and start with somebody else, and then I'll bring on Maddison." And this guy seems to be like managing Son's minutes. Son Heung-min doesn't play more than 60-something minutes in a game, and I'm like, what's that all about? And they've not even given the guy a new contract, at least from my knowledge. I would gladly take the guy.
They're phasing him out.
I would gladly do a swap deal. If they want to do a swap deal with Rashford, they can sign him and give him Rashford.
This guy hates Rashford so much. Just bringing him off.
See, we'll gladly give them Rashford. Say they think Rashford is a party boy in Man City. In Manchester, he will come to London and continue the party. We'll gladly take Son Heung-min any day, anytime. Give him a 2-year contract. Let him put him some good work for us 2 years in the interim. So, yeah, no, Tottenham, to me, I think they're in trouble in terms of they actually have a good squad, but they're not consistent enough. And this whole high line thing they play, to me, I think they should stop it, because to me, everybody has figured them out now at this point. And if you're a good enough team, decent enough team, that you have a midfielder that can just play the ball over the top, and you can time the offside
L1 triangle, son.
easily, you're walking in and you're scoring hat-tricks any day, left and right. So I think for me, this whole Highland thing has to end with them if they want to succeed or make the top 4, top 6 this season.
Son, I don't even know. Maybe he's carrying an injury. I noticed it too. It's like, but it's one of those things. It's all gravy when it works, right? I forget the match I was watching. I want to say Aston Villa. Don't quote me. I think it was the Aston Villa game. Son scored or assisted, and he took Son off. Then the person he brought in for Son scored like 2 goals. So it's lovely when it works. It looks like, hey, manager is a genius. But when it doesn't, you're like, bro, we're losing this game. Why are you taking this bro out? It's one of those. Speaking of one of those, Man City, 1 win in 11. You can't make this up. Like if you told somebody this, they'll, oh my god, I'm so happy. I can't express how happy how happy I am. Can someone just talk? Because I'm overwhelmed with joy.
When it comes to City, I don't understand why. Okay, I get why everyone is happy, because they basically whooped everyone's ass over the last how many years.
No, wait, Skip. Even when they're not whooping you, they will just win. It's just annoying. It was just annoying. Like,
that's what champions do. You win when you are not meant to win, and you just kind of like you take 3 points and you run away. Like that's basically what they like. If you remember early this season, I believe their first 3 or 4 games or so. Don't quote me, but like there was a point where Manchester City were just stealing points
against Fulham. The Fulham game, I'll never forget the Fulham game. I don't know how they won that game.
So I get why everybody is hating on them and all of that, but like City problem actually run deeper than a lot of people are. They have this 155 stroke 130 charge on their neck, which basically, if you're a player agent, are you telling anybody or any of your players to go to City before you know the decision of that? No. They have an agent squad that they basically have to revamp. So like few years, I believe a year ago, the last 3 years, Bernardo Silva wanted to leave. You should have replaced him since then. KDB, you should have replaced him. Kyle Walker, how many years does this guy want to play? Like, you should have. There should be backup. Rodri,
Watch it.
Let's look at Rodri. Rodri, you basically signed like 3-4 players as his backup, and they've all failed. Look at your wingers. They used to have Mahrez and Sané. Look at who they have now. So basically, it's combination of getting old and the signings they've made not being it, and also the charges.
One thing though, Skip, let me interrupt you. One thing though, everything you're saying makes perfectly sense. Makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, but it's a 1 year difference. I've never seen anybody fall so far, so fast.
Go look at Chelsea. It happens. That's what happened to all champions. There's a point where you basically is just a downfall. It is all champions. It happens to them. Why do you think nobody stays at the top for like forever? Nobody stays at the top forever. It's just this thing. Even if you're trying to be like, oh, we're going to rebuild and all of this, it takes time to rebuild. And because this is not chess where you are just removing a block and you are replacing it with another block. What if you sign the player and the player flops? What will you do? It happens. So their problem run deeper than what Pep is saying, oh, I just need to solve it. And you need to do a lot of things as a club in order to resolve this. And again, to be honest, I'm not enjoying it, but I'm just happy that some other people have the chance to win the league now. Because if someone told me, oh, come December, you will be 7 points above Man City, I won't even ask where Man City is on the table. I'm just starting. I won't ask if they are 20th or
second.
I'm just taking it. So it's good to see that they are human beings too, that Pep is human and all of that. But they are in deep trouble. And I said that beginning of the season, and that's why I said Arsenal was going to win the league beginning of the season. Because everything City have going on, trust me, is too much to be like, oh, they will be back next year. They won't be back next year. They need all the chips to basically fall perfectly for them. They won't be back next year. So, again, and I don't know why Pep even signed a 2-year deal. This is the perfect time for him to leave.
He wanted to prove to you guys, Aminu and them, calling him a fraud. He wanted to prove to this is my coaching badges is coming through now. That's what he wanted to prove to you.
This guy has been to Germany, he has done it. He has been to Spain, he has done it. He has been to England. So who is he trying to prove? All these managers being at the club for 18 years is never going to happen again. It's never going to happen again. So even if he stays for 2 years, that doesn't mean that is 18 years. So what is he trying to prove? You are just being stubborn. This was the perfect time for him to leave. They should bring another coach that will just build another team and all of that. You remember when Pep was coming to become was about to become their coach? For 2 years, they were building the team for Pep. They were laying the foundation for him. So immediately came, he just need like a year or two, boom, and they're gone. So yeah, but Man City are fucked.
Catch you, please.
Man City, I'm enjoying it. I can't say I'm really, really enjoying it. For the longest time, the blue half of Manchester has just been rubbing all these titles in our face. So I think for me now, I'm enjoying it in the sense that let's see what Pep can do from now on. So now this is the first time where you've really, really faced failure, where you still have good players.
In the face, bro.
It's like, let's see you dig your way out of this, because you're not going to be able to sign your way out of this problem. You're not going to go and sign 7 players. It's not going to happen. And spend maybe 700 million in one market. Who do you want to sell from that City team to keep up with the profitability rules? Say you sell 8 players. Bro, ain't nobody going to buy De Bruyne off you except from Saudi. Nobody's going to buy Walker off you except from Saudi, or Italy will come in and say, give us 5 million.
You'll be surprised though. I was surprised they were able to get, was it 87 million for Alvarez? I was surprised.
They didn't spend all the money they make last year, so they have money sitting to spend. They do have money. They don't need to sell.
They have money. How much money do they have to spend? Do they have to 200 million?
They have more than 200 million.
I feel like they have up to 200 million.
Go look. They have more than 200. Go look at the sales they've made.
In this market, do you know 200 million in this market at best is 3-4 players?
Or 2 self. 2 Mbappes.
But
Not 2
they are
Mbappes.
like the other team that have to sack the tea lady in order to make money.
Shut up.
You see all these other teams, all these clubs, when they know that you are desperate for a player, you see all these Spanish teams, when they know that you are desperate for a player, they can sense the desperation on you. They're like, okay, you come into the market. And if the player you want to sign is not out of contract, bro, you'll pay over the odds. Man City, except you are going for find one Brazilian teenager that nobody's heard of. But if you want to sign a ready-made player ready to go, this is where you see. Or if you, God help you, now want to go to an English team and you want to buy a player, any English striker now, you're calling 100 million.
That's true. Like, and like you said, plus the charges, everybody's genuinely scared of going there. Like, what's the future?
Agent is telling their players, see, if you go there, you're on your own. Oh. Everybody's agent is telling them, the player, if you go there, please, maybe just pay me my money, my 5 years in advance. I don't want to be, because I don't want to.
I don't want to hear relegation story. I don't want to hear you're relegated and your salary can't cover my portion. I don't want to hear.
Like, agents are asking in advance, like, I want my advance right now. So you're signing the contract, pay me my money in advance. So if you go relegation, that's on you. So I think for me now, it's like a poison chalice in the sense that damn if you do, damn if you don't. To me, Pep should have just left the contract as it is and run it down to the end of the season and say, oh, I'll see how it goes. But now he has gone and he has committed himself to the team. So you know if the thing sinks, it's on him. Plus Mourinho does not help. Mourinho is like, okay, me, I'm nowhere, but this is the time where I'll keep sticking the needle in. Mourinho say, I just want justice. I just Mourinho is like, please give me my 2 titles.
Mourinho wants his titles, bro.
Give
my titles, bro. That's all I want. Edosa, with all this being said, right? All this being said, all the foundation of the ground, whatever we've said, and what everybody's saying with City, what would it say about the Premier League or the other teams in general if they was to somehow come back and win this league? Because Arsenal, Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool have a history of bottling, and Chelsea, you could argue that they're immature, they're kids, they're not ready, all that. What would it say about the Premier League if they, from here, they come and still win?
Well, I've always said you can't really put it to City, and that's kind of why we're having this entire 115 charges. So if someone cheats that much, you would imagine that they have enough, even without having one of the best managers in the history of the game, to get them over the line. But yeah, like just so I don't miss out on sticking the boat into Chelsea, sorry, Man City. I think they are dead now. This is their season done, more or less. Just because I don't see what changes between now and the end of the season that helps them. I mean, there are a couple of people they could sign that maybe it would stabilize them a little bit. Like if they get Zubimendi, for example, that's your ready replacement. If they get Vets, whatever he calls himself, the Bayer Leverkusen German guy.
What's yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Musiala's homie. Yeah.
They get him all of a sudden, their wingers are not idiots anymore, right? If they get another midfielder that knows what they're doing, that has legs, then Gundogan is not on the pitch, half chasing back when they're getting countered on. Also, I think what people don't realize is they have a lot of academy players that are currently killing it in the Premier League. And they have buyback clauses in every single one of those players. So it's as simple as, yeah, okay, you've done your education, guys. We have all the money to trigger all your transfers. Come back home. I think with the exception of Palmer, funny enough. Because I doubt Chelsea would have signed anything.
No, that's why we paid the 40 million.
That's
what Chelsea was like.
I wanted to say Palmer and Chelsea at the same time. I said Chalmer. Chelsea, they're goddamn criminals. Let's let their accounting and their recruitment this thing to the side.
No, I think so. If they did that, then great. Because it's great for them. Because otherwise, I'm pretty sure they would have triggered that transfer clause already as early as January, because KDB is not doing anything this year. Like nobody's even scared of him these days. Like they brought him on to he played from the start. Today.
He started today. The commentator said he has created the most chances though this season.
Sure. You can create the most chances. Doesn't like Haaland is not going to put them in at the moment. So like it doesn't really matter, right? Nobody's scared of KDB anymore. So, yeah, but the idea that if they survive this thing, they won't be able to sign players is ridiculous. Because now it's easier to sign players from Brazil. Those guys don't care. They just want their money, and they're going to show up and get their money as long as it lasts. They always find better teams to play for.
Yeah, City.
Kachi.
I do agree. City has the money. It's just getting over these charges and everything, and rebuilding. Because
if they don't get done, they're going to spend
Yeah. They will like they yeah.
We have to move on. We have to move on. Last word on City. I want to give it to Kachi because I don't want to ask Kedosa this question because I know he will go off. Kachi, have you ever seen a player of the season drop this far, this hard?
Never in
Like, what is happening?
Never in Premier League history. I don't even think it's happened in the Spanish league, in the top 5 leagues. Phil Foden.
Just put down your hand.
Phil Foden is an absolute fraud. Like, if I'm Pep, I'm not even. You know how they say Fergie used to do hair dryer treatment. I'm not even shouting at any of my other players. I'm shouting at Foden, like, bro, help us. Like, what are you doing? Because, okay, Haaland, okay, they've marked Haaland out of the game. KDB is old, Gundogan. But what are you doing, Phil Foden? Like, this bro is a shadow of himself on the field. Phil Foden is literally a shadow of the field. Like, Phil Foden's drop-off is so bad that if he was Fergie managing, Fergie would have probably paid a kid from academy reserves in place of Foden. But he'll put Foden on the bench to just be watching the game and be embarrassed because this is annoying at this point. We're what? Game week 17. And this guy doesn't have one goal at the Etihad.
Mid-December. At all. Which is not Etihad. At all. He doesn't have a goal this season.
Like,
Doesn't have a goal this season.
Explain this drop-off. You better be having some the personal issues have to be like, I'm going to prison next week kind of, which I don't think he has because nothing has leaked because, man, this is the worst drop-off I've seen. Which also makes me justify that player of the year he got last year should have either gone to Palmer or, in my opinion, Saka. But hey.
Just a quick word on this before I move to Arsenal.
The weirdest thing, I don't think he dropped off. I think this is exactly who he is, and last year he got lucky. So he got that player of the season based off outscoring everybody. That was his competition, I guess. But like, he scored 17 on the XG of 8 or 8 or 9. So that just means that he should have scored maybe 10 if it's an especially good finisher. 12, 17 is like, yeah, every single thing went your way, right? And I think that just kind of explains City of last year. I really do think that this thing that is happening now actually started last year.
There were signs.
But they variance so hard. Like, we're talking Chris Wood that is currently challenging Haaland for highest goal scorer, missed a tap-in. Son missed basically a tap-in against them, right? Like, everything went for them last year. And that's the only reason why they won the league. And now, those things are not going for them anymore. And they're showing their actual level. And it just shows you how football is kind of weird. Like, sometimes never know about what you're doing. Just what's happening against, which I guess we're about to get to with Arsenal. So that's just it. Great. Welcome.
Beautiful. Arsenal. Skip, what is going on with Arsenal? Are they realistic? Did you say nothing?
Yeah, people are just overblowing this, and I saw even the AFTV this thing because after I saw one of you guys' message,
yeah, I saw the AFTV.
I
Yeah,
went
bro,
to
those guys.
watch all the interviews on AFTV, and again,
give us Arteta if you don't want. If you don't want, give Arteta. He's a good coach.
Nothing is wrong. Arteta is a good coach. Like, people forgotten what EPL is. Like, you go to Stoke and you drop point there. You go like. There's just some games where you just drop point and you basically we did enough to win, but we did not win. And that's the type of game with everything. Like, Arsenal played well, like they did enough to win that game, but they just did not win. And when it comes to the set piece, give my team the set piece threat. You think I won't take it? Give United that set piece opportunity. You think they won't take it? So if they give any of our team that threat, we're going to take it. So why are we complaining? They are not breaking the rules. And this is the problem I have with people when they're like, oh, we don't like this, we don't like that, it's not that clean. I'm like, are they breaking the rules? Are they breaking the rules? They are doing what they have to do to win. I have no complaint about it. So they went to United. United were being defensive. They weren't creating. They got corner. They score corner. Boom. At the end of the day, they took their 3 points. It's the losers that will be telling stories, not the winners. Like, they move. So again, nothing is wrong with Arteta, and I think he has done nothing wrong. It's just, again, the team is doing. If you want to even look at anything, look at some specific player like Martinelli, the trouser that contribute more. You need to step your game. But not the coach. He has done everything. Like, did we forget where Arsenal were before Arteta came in?
It's very easy to forget what Arsenal was before.
So nothing is wrong. They drop point against some team. It's EPL. Everybody drop points when you don't expect it. So yeah.
I think the issue is for the hardcore AFTV, we remember where we were coming from. Grateful to you for bringing us this far. Are you the one to take us to the next step? We're looking forward. Are you the one to take us to the next step? Because we've been knocking on the door for 2 years. Now the gatekeepers are down. Let's go through this door, and we're further back. You know what I mean? That's the mindset. Like, how are people coming ahead of us when we've been knocking on the door? Are you truly the person to take us to this next step?
Here's the thing: nobody is standing still. Those gatekeepers, when they leave, you think someone was sneaking with Arsenal too? You think everybody will be like, "Oh, Arsenal have been there closely. Let Arsenal go first."
It's your turn. T-Pain settings. It's your turn. It's your turn.
A lot of teams will want to get in and also challenge. It won't just be when Man City got really good. When they were starting, it was United and Chelsea that were challenging them. Then Man City got really good. Then you see Arsenal, Liverpool step up to them. And the other two, like now, Man City are falling. Someone has to, take those places. And you see Liverpool, it's just the rule. It's not as if we've been there 3 times. That automatically gives us the right. Or the coach just have to go and win it. Like, it doesn't work like that. Let's be realistic at some point. I don't understand all the hatred Arteta is getting, but again.
What say you, Kachi?
No, I think the problem with Arsenal fans is not even the mere fact that they drew the game. It's that I think their frustration is that City are fumbling the bag right now, and they're not capitalizing. I think the problem, what Arsenal fans, I think oftentimes tend to do is they're like, if they had drawn that game, like okay now, and then City lost, like okay, if it was both of them only in the race now, okay, just Arsenal and Man City, they would have been happier with that point. But now that Chelsea, Liverpool are in the mix, they're all like, man, we have to win our game to also keep an eye on our opponent's game.
Let me interrupt you, Kachi. Plus, these guys are new managers. I think that is added frustration. This is like this guy's first year. But go on.
I think for me, that Arsenal game, if you look at it, any other game, Odegaard would have probably had a hat-trick in that first half. It's just unfortunate that all of his chances went over. But for me, Martinelli he's the kind of player that gets managers the sack. I can't say it any better than that. I think for me, Arteta, just relegates Martinelli to the cup competition like FA Cup, Carabao Cup. And please give Trossard a run of games. Give my guy Sterling a run of games. He's not that bad. Like,
Okay, stop giving
no. I'm serious. Even if it's a 20-30 minutes cameo here and there, surely I don't think he can perform as
Sterling is available to replace Rashford at the end of season. We will win more comfort too.
So what's that?
How much are you selling Sterling for us? If you give him to us for 5-10 million, we take it.
We're even free. I won't take Sterling. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
A bona fide winner, a 4-time EPL winner.
Bro, this guy is done, bro. He's done. But I think Sterling is done.
What is Rashford?
Rashford is dead. Bro, he's been done, bro.
No, but to me, Arteta, I think Arsenal fans need to. It's not the end of the world. They drew with Everton. Everton is historically a team that they struggle with. So I think for me, it's not the end of the world. I think they should evaluate come January. Let's see where they are come January, February. Then they will know. But I think for me, if they keep picking up points, all I know is they should stick with the pack. They need to stick with the Liverpool and Chelsea pack. They cannot let it get into like 9 points gap. Then that's when you start getting in trouble. For me, if they can keep it to under 6 points, I think they'll be fine. To me, I think Arteta is still a good manager, but I also think the Arsenal board needs to back him and give the guy a striker. I keep saying it. Give the guy a striker, a 25-goal striker, 25-goal a season striker. I don't know where you find that kind of striker. My own opinion is go out and get Osimhen, but I know Arsenal will not want to spend that kind of.
Cisco, bro. Cisco. Benjamin.
For that guy has died. I think did he sign a new contract?
He did. Actually, he extended his contract.
The market for the guy is dead right now. So I think for me, Osimhen is the one you need to go and get right now because I'm sure his price has dropped a bit in terms of what Napoli is asking for, what they are willing to take now that they've shipped the guy off to Galatasaray. So the guy is, I think, 1 year removed from whatever contract they got him to sign. So I think Arsenal can go in and get the guy. They don't have to pay 100 million. I think for 50 million, 60 million with the right negotiation, they can get him. But that's just me.
Edosa.
I think what is the question? Maybe that can help me.
Are the Arsenal fans right to be so harsh with Arteta? Is he actually truly fair? What's your opinion on the current status of things? Is he justifiably where he's supposed to be on the table, considering the other two managers are brand new managers?
Okay, so I think Arsenal fans are allowed to feel the way they feel about their manager. I
Justifiably.
mean,
They're allowed, obviously.
you don't need to justify shit. Like, you can feel however you want to feel. Nobody can take that away from you. It's a free world, right? Whether it's right or not, I don't personally care because I don't know their circumstances. So I cannot tell them what is right or wrong. Personally, I think that you need to be clear about what you're asking for specifically, right? So if the question is Slot and Maresca just joined new teams and they're doing well, of course they are. Like there's nothing crazy there. Like the improvement from fourth to second is a lot smaller than improvement from second to first, if that makes any sense, right? So you can compare, but depending on how you look at the table, whichever year there is some random guy that was third for the longest time going to finish seventh or eighth, right? Like just the way the table works. So maybe that's Arsenal this year, who knows? Maybe it's City this year, who knows? But the point is, I don't think there's plenty that could have done recently that would have changed anything. Because depending on where you want to start on the games, we can find something that has happened that doesn't make any sense, right? If we're not talking about the 2 red cards that nobody else has gotten this season, that turned wins into draws, or a red card that on the very same day and then the next day were no red cards that took a game that had barely started and made it a loss. That is 7 points gone off the bat. Last year, 6 points gone off the bat. This is about 5. At some point, if it's not even about you and people keep on stealing 5, 6, 7 points from you, like, it doesn't matter what you do, then it's fine. Variance happens, those things happen. But then you look at his team has been decimated. If you look at the number of days missed by injuries for players in the league, Arsenal are the third team. And literally the back four that has been injured will start in every single team in this league. And then some of the best teams in the world. So, like, what are we talking about? That's gone. Ben White, Tomiyasu, Gabriel has been injured for times, Calafiori has been injured for time. So these guys will start anywhere they go to in reality. They've been injured. We've been missing Odegaard for a while. He's back, but then he went and had a child, so now he doesn't remember what it is to play football anymore. That happens. Like, see, in aggregate, like by themselves, each of these things sound like excuses. But it's not any different from the City issues when you minus the 115 charges. That, Arsenal are not scoring from open play, we know it's a lie because they score plenty. Like, if you take out all the goals from set pieces, they are scoring Man United, they are scoring other teams. So I don't know where that issue. In fact, their position on the table does not change if you take out all the set piece goals. So, like, what are we talking about here, right? So I don't think that's the issue. The issue is that Arteta has been trying to improve a particular position and he can't find the person. Now, does that mean that he should do better? Definitely. Because other people are signing forwards. And if you think about what we have as our attackers, it's an academy kid, a random punt from Brazil, and a striker that we bought as a midfielder. That does not sound like someone that has tried to put together an attack in reality, right? So, like, we need to sign attackers because other teams are literally signing multiple attackers every single summer. So, like, until that happens, nothing's going to change. That said, though, Man United took more shots on target against City today than Arsenal have considered in the last 3 games. So basically, you're not scoring, you're not really going to win, you're not going to beat this Arsenal team. It's just a question of, can they find a goal? And more often than not, in the last 3 years, Arteta has been actually competing for the league. We do. So, are we in a funk? Yes. Does this mean that this is Arsenal's or Arteta's ceiling? I don't think so. But if it is, I don't care, man. Anybody that gets me winning, I'm fine with. Like, it's not my business. Like, it really isn't my business. If we have to replace him, then we do. Like, the guy is going to get paid like 15 million to lose his job. Like, I'll take that. If my employer is going to want me 15 million to tell me say that at home, I'm never going to cry too much, right? It's okay. Like, so I think Arsenal will be okay. It's really what I think. I just think that Arsenal fans need to remember that spending that energy weekly, like, oh, we drew a match at the end of the world, it's just too much. I don't know how anybody living like that, because there were times last season where for 3 games we didn't win and everybody thought it was the end of the world, and then we went 19 games, it's 17-1-1 after everybody was just crying that season had ended. So like, this time doesn't matter. City has shown us that anything before January is really just a waste of time. January 1st, that you know when that season goes sweet or not. It's basically a Wednesday, right? It's a Tuesday right now. You know, say it's from Wednesday, you know, say weekend goes sweet. Now from January 1st, you know that weekend goes sweet. This season goes sweet. So right now, just stay close. Stay close. If you can add something in the winter window that helps us attack-wise, do it. If not, I've seen this attack score more than the Invincibles while conceding a ridiculously low amount of goals in half a season. They can run it back if they want to. So.
Do you think he can win a cup, at least a cup this season?
I think it depends on how seriously he decides to take them. So we're playing Crystal Palace this week, 18th.
The Carabao.
Right, so
yeah,
if we win that and United don't beat Tottenham,
Spurs, yeah,
then all of a sudden he might start feeling like, you know what, maybe I should just get this one just so that people stop disturbing me about winning something and get that out of the way. I also really think that the Arsenal team really wants to do something, but that one tends to be outside of your control, so we'll see.
Speaking of Europe, final thoughts on the podcast, final thoughts on Liverpool, top of the Premier League, top of Europe. How are you guys feeling about them? Do you think they can run with this till the end? Or is the slot still on fraud watch, as Aminu says?
It's possible. They have a good team, so I'm not sure why we're thinking they cannot. They have Salah, which is incredible, the number he puts up. So like, they have Van Dijk, and like, they have a good team. They have Edison, like they have a good team. Jota is back, and like, what this guy did, their coach, has to be one of the smartest things any new coach has ever done. You come to a team that has been winning before, you don't change it, because all these coaches, right? It has to be my way. I have to do it. They will come into a winning team and they want to turn everything up.
My way, my players.
And the guy was like, you know what? No, the way you guys are doing things before is already good. But let's just add 1, 2, 3.
Let's tighten up the defense.
Better. Yeah, like, that's one of the smartest things I've ever seen. Like, and it did that, and now they're flying. And I remember the last time I spoke about Liverpool here, I wasn't sure where they're going to go. Then I watched the game against Liverpool and Fulham, and the way they play against Fulham with a man down.
10 men from the 10th minute.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's because Fulham are not capable of controlling games. They don't have players that can just dictate game, like slow the game down, speed it up. Maybe they are not capable of that, or Liverpool is just incredible, and the way they just, and I'm like, this is a team that looks like they will win the league. So yeah, they are capable of going, and they should keep going. So
Catchy.
I think for me in the league, yes, they can keep it up, but I think in Europe is one of those things where it's based on form, but also it's not based on form, if that makes any sense. Europe, you can see all these teams that they could play rubbish. You play in the league phase, they play rubbish. You meet them in the knockout round and they finish you off. That night they have a special night. So I think in the league, Liverpool they have another gear to go to in the league. Obviously, I think Salah will play a huge role, but I think they need Darwin Núñez to step up. I think that will be the last factor. If Darwin Núñez can give them anywhere from 12 to 13, 15 goals, because Gakpo is firing, and their midfield is solid. But for me in Europe is not always the best teams that win the Champions League. And that's the thing I've learned in Champions League. You can be the best team in the Champions League, but that doesn't necessarily mean you win the Champions League. Because first of all, the things that referees call in the Premier League are so much different from what they call in the Champions League. Plus, Champions League has proven the last 3-4 years that Madrid, some teams just have it and some teams just don't have it. Like some teams, it's like they've 2 chances, 2 goals.
It makes no sense. Like, how did Dortmund and Inter make the finals in the past 2 years? Like, how? Where is everybody else?
And then if you are still in the FA Cup or if you are still in the Champions League, that's a different conversation. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
So I think they're moving it to Liverpool is basically guaranteed automatic qualification in the Champions League. Then
No, Liverpool
night.
are playing this week. They're playing Southampton
No,
this
no,
week.
midweek. Midweek. Carabao.
They play Southampton.
Are they still in?
Yeah, they play Southampton. Go look
Are
at
they
it.
still in?
Yeah, they are. Go look at the footballing calendar on the 18th. So that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. When it comes to December, let's be fair to an extent. When it comes to December, it's impossible to fit it. Even the December period schedule is already way too packed. Because if it's my team, I'm going to lose my shit. So
Lose my shit. Fucking hell.
let's be fair. But also when it comes to picking those rescheduling those games, you know they need to call the TV people that are giving you how many millions per season that what day do you have space to show the game? Or do you want them to go play the game and nobody is not on TV? Nobody's showing it. If that's a United Premier League game, how will you feel?
Put that one up, man. Also, we have football over here. We can watch it anytime.
The only people that will care about that game are people in Liverpool. Liverpool, the Merseyside derby, people outside of Liverpool don't care about it.
Yeah, but they should be the one people actually care. They should care about first.
Okay, they should go watch it live then. Go watch it live. Should be.
I think they're a good team. I just think that they're versing very hard right now because teams are getting chances against them despite the solidifying that and Slot has done. Salah is doing things that historically he's never done before at the age of 34 in a contract year. And what happens when that contract gets signed? So he hasn't posted his Christmas tree picture yet. So that's another thing like Liverpool fans will be looking out for on December 25th. Like, I just think that when you aggregate every single thing, there's enough going on that would ensure that they won't drop off like, oh, all of a sudden they won't win 10 games or something, but like they'll drop enough points that it allows somebody else to sneak in. You guys are talking about them playing well with 10 men. Like, it's easier to play with 10 men if people just start attacking the living daylight out of you, and that's what you want. If what you want is people to attack you and you're 10 men and that. So, like, it just.
Nah, man. Tell Man you down when we were playing Copenhagen.
No, but teams have what they like to do, and some things play more into other things. Like Arsenal, for some reason, we can't do transition games. Like, if you actually want to beat Arsenal, you have to make it a running game where you're going back and forth and there's no control in the game. Then anything can happen. Fulham had one shot on target from like the corner of the box, and that was it. And that was the only time they ever turned us. Apart from that, they had nothing, right? So it's like, even when you think about the Man City game, why they score? Literally one random pass in, and then next thing you know, Haaland 1-on-1 goalkeeper. Never got that chance again for the rest of the game. So like, Liverpool, it favors them when teams actually want to be running back and forth with them instead of just being solid. Why? I don't know why teams don't just be solid against them, but I don't think they win the league. But Champions League, honestly, if they get favorable draws, I don't see why they can't win the league. Because if they face a stupid team, they're beating them. That's just the truth. So,
You think a bit Bayern? So, do you think they're going to beat Bayern or Barca? I think those are the only other
Have you
threats in
seen
Champions League.
Bayern, the way Bayern tried defending? Have you seen
And-
Bayern hard line? Salah
and
is
that
going to have a
Barca-
field day.
that Barcelona Highland, like, if
Yeah,
Barcelona play that Highland against any English team, they are getting.
This guy's the team is like, is this Spurs we're playing? What's happening? What's happening?
There's a lot of red on this jersey.
Go on, you're going to say something, Skip.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention, like, did anybody notice against Chelsea, Tottenham, they dropped their backline a little bit. Did you guys notice that? which I
Wow,
wasn't
if it's you,
expecting.
won't you drop it? No, if it's you, won't you drop it? Since last year, people have been insulting him. No, this skip guy, you've been doing like no, he's on your side.
But the guy said don't change the way they play. Everybody. Last year, the first leg where they got 2 red cards, you guys were praising them, bobbing brave for keeping the highlight, right? Like,
Who guys?
so why did they keep the same thing? Like,
Who guys?
I was looking forward to
praising
seeing
them,
the highlight. Like,
No,
so,
like they're rubbish team, Tottenham. You don't need to worry about them. High line, no high line. Anybody
They
can.
tried that
Use.
high line against Chelsea this season, and Palmer would have had 7 assists in the first half. Like, it would have been embarrassing.
All right, we do have to bring this to an end. This has been a long one. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. Please tune in again next week for where we announce the winner of the competition. Send in your guesses to the Instagram page. As always, continue to love football. Subscribe, follow on Instagram and YouTube. Thank you.